CNBC TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.
Welcome back. Let's focus on the commodity sector now. Amul tells CNBC TV18 that they are aiming to achieve a turnover of 1 lakh crore in the next couple of years and have no plans of listing, as it is contrary to the objectives of a cooperative. Manisha Gupta did catch up with Jayan Mehta, who's the MD of Amul, to talk about the company's business outlook, future expansion. Listen in.
This is actually the time for the strong tailwinds to the sector. I've been here for more than 30 years now, and I'm very, very clearly seeing that the focus of the government in demonstrating the power of cooperatives and ensuring the benefit to the smallest and the marginalized farmer, the landless people, even showing the role of cooperative in women empowerment. That's giving a strong impetus to the sector. So the new Ministry of Cooperation, which has been formed 2 years back, it's been led by the Home Minister himself. And more importantly, the 3 new multi-state cooperatives, which Amul, IFFCO, CRIPCO, NCDC, NAFED, NCCF, all 6-7 of the top cooperatives in the country have been given an opportunity to incubate. So we are actually a startup for these 3 new startup mode for these 3 new multi-state cooperatives, one on exports, one on organics, and the third on seeds. And I'm happy to say that the organic one is doing very well, and more importantly, the export one has already got orders worth more than $2 billion. So this is the power of connecting the farmer and through a cooperative to the world. And the good beginning has been made, and I'm sure it will do a lot of wonders to improving the incomes of our farmers across the country by providing a stable market access, remunerative prices, and more importantly, quality products to consumers around the world.
You know, the last couple of years haven't been really easy for the consumers because the way the prices have continued to rise. I mean, I do understand that the input costs have gone higher as well. But what has happened in the last couple of years? Do you see that pattern growing ahead also? Where do you see is really the issue?
Last year was an abnormal year because 2 years prior to that were COVID period, and we could not take the increase in the prices because on one side the inflation was there for the farmers, but because of huge inventory and the pressure on the markets, the producers had to absorb that. So to overcome that, we did increase prices a couple of times last year. But now the situation is pretty okay in terms of overall availability of milk, the growth in production of milk, and the input costs are pretty under control. The government also did its bit by controlling the exports of the de-oiled rice bran cake, which is an input to the cattle feed, and that has stabilized the prices, and the pressure on the producers is not much. So, and you've seen in now almost a year is over, and we have not hiked the prices. Overall, we look the situation to be quite okay. And comforting both for the producer as well as the consumers. And this is the tightrope walking we have to keep doing.
All right. So with so much happening under that one brand umbrella, what would you say is the company's valuation in the day and day today?
It's a good question. Amul means priceless in Sanskrit. So it remains priceless.
But there are numbers, there are papers you work on.
You can't put a number to this and the zeros to it, and the way you and your channel looks at it, that will be Greek and Latin for us. But again, as I mentioned, we talked about large numbers of milk, large number of turnover, value, growth, and all that stuff. But actually our currency is not milk. Our currency is trust. And it's the trust of lakhs of producers, trust of 1 billion consumers, and that's what keeps the brand going.
Let me approach it in a different way.
What we get out of it is the value which both farmers benefit out of it and consumers benefit.
Okay, so what was the turnover last fiscal, and what are you looking to do now in the next year?
The Amul brand turnover was about 72,000 crores last year, $9 billion. We are growing at double-digit rate this year. We have a target to become 1 lakh crores in the next couple of years. But that's pretty much achievable.
Sure.
What important is we demonstrate not just this impact of Amul in whatever space we are doing, and we'll build on that momentum. The 3 new multi-state cooperatives and the opportunity we've got to incubate these new companies, which actually can become bigger than even Amul what is now. And then also demonstrate the power of this model in different parts of the world. And this becomes a showcase example of basically how a cooperative with the role of women empowerment actually demonstrating this.
So, you know, I'm sure that's a question that gets asked to you very often. Is there ever going to be a listing? Is there ever going to be an IPO?
It's actually contradictory to the objectives of a cooperative. We pay the highest price of milk, and the consumer gets the best product at value for money price. So we have to work with very low margins, low cost, low overheads, and low expenses. An investor looks at value, and he would look at profit. And you can get profit only by either increasing the prices or reducing the purchase prices. Now, which means you will have to make a producer unhappy or a consumer unhappy, or actually both unhappy, or in the worst case, the market unhappy. Actually, we don't need so much of money from the market. Money is not very difficult to come. The cooperative sector is getting stronger.
Especially
the
when you're
balance
doing
sheets
just
of
the
our
right
organization
things.
and dairies are getting stronger. And the multiplier effect on investments is very high. So that way the payback period is very low, the returns are very good. And we are investing big time into expanding our capacities. And about, if you can imagine, 11,000 crore rupees investment in the next couple of years speaks of the opportunity the Indian market offers to us and the optimism farmers have in the market.
CNBC TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.